Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 4:15, How Contempt Plagues the Heart, Part 5. An intro to unrighteousness, a crushing force that causes you to do what you know is wrong. The podcast objectives are reveal the prevailing work of unrighteousness, analyze how dishonesty evolves into unrighteousness, and reveal how unrighteousness turns you against yourself. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. To do something you know is wrong. Shalom, my beloved brothers and sisters, and welcome to day 225 of our exposition of lawlessness. In the most recent podcast, we analyze the impact of dishonesty, i.e., the first of three strongholds reared up by the spirit of contempt within your heart. If you recall, these three strongholds are the price you pay when you allow your character to be hijacked by yourself. And now we must continue revealing this price by analyzing stronghold number 2. Enter unrighteousness. Now, whereas dishonesty compromises the full breadth of your physical complex, i.e., 1/3 of your heart, unrighteousness takes care of the rest. In doing so, unrighteousness deals a death blow to your heart, the same way distrust dealt a death blow to your mind. Along these lines, unrighteousness compromises every faculty and actor in your heart that was not compromised by dishonesty, save one. That is, the independent model of opportunity. Here is why. An opportunity cannot be compromised, for it is independent of all the activities, faculties, and actors within your heart. Like a fleeting wind, opportunity appears and disappears by its own design. And no man knows when it is coming, and no man knows when it is gone until it is gone. Now, this is a troubling development, to be sure. Look here. Every aspect of your heart has been compromised except one, and it is one that you have no control over. As troubling as this matter is, we should analyze how we got here. For as you very well know by now, the only way we can break this process and avoid its disastrous end is by understanding the process. Along these lines, unrighteousness enters your heart after dishonesty has established its stronghold in your physical complex. You can see this by observing the image to the right. Now, here is the thing you must always remember about these 2 degrees of contempt. Vis-a-vis, unrighteousness is an evolution of dishonesty. The same way distrust is an evolution of despair. Ergo, unrighteousness does not arrive on the scene until a stronghold of dishonesty has been established. And it is from this stronghold that unrighteousness can and will evolve. Now, once unrighteousness enters your heart, it has multiple options as to where it can establish its stronghold. Like a thief breaking into your house, the spirit of unrighteousness looks for a place where he can have the most impact, vis-a-vis a place where he can steal as much from you as possible. Along these lines, unrighteousness, i.e., the focal degree of contempt, operates in the same manner as distrust, i.e., the focal degree of doubt. To wit, unrighteousness will establish its strongholds adjacent to your thought alignment centers. As it pertains to your physical thought alignment center, it has already been compromised by dishonesty. However, this corruption is not fatal. It is detrimental for sure, but it does not constitute a death blow. And trust me, the enemy is always looking to deal you a death blow. It begins with dishonesty and the power she possesses to organize the chaos in your physical heart. Notwithstanding, she does not possess the power to formally endorse an intention that will set you on a path that you know is wrong. My dear friends, you must get this, for this is a crucial aspect of this process. Look here, dishonesty will cause you to distort, bend, twist, and do all kinds of things to the truth by manipulating the facts in the deceitful spirit of theory. But let me tell you something. She does not possess the power to force you to wholly reject the truth. She can do many things to corrupt your heart, but she is not the prevailing force who coaxes you into giving yourself permission to do something you know is wrong. For this is the work of unrighteousness. It is to give you permission to do something you know is wrong. A deadly combination of truth and error. Now, this speaks to how dishonesty evolves into unrighteousness, vis-a-vis, whereas dishonesty organizes the chaos in your physical heart, unrighteousness promotes this chaos as it is transferred into your DPU. Along these lines, dishonesty attempts to circumvent the truth via manipulation, while unrighteousness seeks a confrontation with the truth. To wit, the spirit of unrighteousness is looking to go toe to toe with the truth, with the intent to overthrow. To achieve this sinister goal, he must cause you to knowingly transgress the Father's will. That's the key, my friends. For when it comes to unrighteousness, there is no gray area. You are doing something you know is wrong. Now, the question we should chiefly entertain is, how does unrighteousness impact your DPU? This indeed is the question, and I will answer it with an inflection point, describing how dishonesty and unrighteousness corrupt your DPU. As your physical alignment center feeds into your DPU, its interpretation of the value of the facts supporting each intention is ingested into your DPU. Consequently, your DPU will not only receive bad data, which is the work of dishonesty, but it will also receive an erroneous interpretation of that data. This will cause certain intentions to appear more attractive than the Father's will. i.e., a prime objective of unrighteousness. Now, if you recall, your CPU endured a similar happening within your mind. To wit, it was forced to produce garbage because it was being fed garbage. As the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. The only difference is there was no force in your mind promoting the garbage being fed into your CPU. Here again, this is the work of unrighteousness, vis-a-vis, he actively and aggressively promotes the garbage being fed into your DPU, which makes it increasingly more difficult for you to do the Father's will. Now, the question of the hour is, what does this mean for the intention that is aligned with the Father's will and your impressions? This is indeed the question of the hour, and I will begin to address it with the following interest points. Despite the counterworks of dishonesty and unrighteousness, the Father's will remains perfectly intact. To wit, any transmutation of the Father's will results in the generation of a new intention, vis-a-vis a deadly combination of truth and error, falsely substantiated by bad facts. We know this because truth transcends anything with a physical origin. And this transmutation occurs in your physical heart. For look, listen, it has been written, we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Ergo, even if your twisted heart manufactures various corrupted versions of the truth to suit your depraved desires, the truth will march on and you will never see it. They were created by the actors within you. Now, moving on, the question we should chiefly entertain is this: how do we get to the point where we do something we know is wrong if our DPU will always reveal the intention that is aligned with the Father's will? This is a key question, and there are many factors that feed into the answer. First and foremost, the intentions that have been manipulated by dishonesty appear better than they are. Ergo, if you are not operating in the Spirit, you will be deceived into considering these evil intentions, not considering how these evolve from false impressions. And in doing so, you will find yourself migrating into a false reality. This is just one of the many reasons why you should never consider any path that is contrary to the Father's will, no matter how attractive it may appear. My dear friends, you must believe me. Things are not always how they appear to be. And the moment you begin engaging the enemy in any form of dialogue, you are already being deceived. Now, the next factor is as dangerous as it is sure, and it is such a focal factor in this common downfall that I will offer it as an interest point. This is one I advise you to bookmark if you are led. The error in your physical heart that led to bad intentions didn't come out of thin air. Quite the contrary, they derive from some faculty or actor within your physical heart. Here lies the inflection and the problem. To wit, the bad intentions being promoted by unrighteousness are a reflection of your lust and carnal desires, which is why they are so difficult for you to resist. Why? It's because you created them. My dear friends, you must believe me. The bad intentions generated by your DPU, which are contrary to the Father's will, were not created by the enemy. They were created by you. Now, it is true that you use the enemy's devices to create them, but the one who authorized the creation, the one who provided the infrastructure, and the true mastermind of it all, my friend, is you, vis-a-vis the actors within your heart who have been deceived into promoting the agenda of contempt. And this is why unrighteousness often finds terrific success in promoting bad intentions. It's because he is promoting intentions that reflect what you really want, somewhere deep inside your heart of contempt. Now, if you think this is bad, let me tell you something. This is only the beginning of the impact of unrighteousness and why the Spirit led me to take a more thorough approach in breaking down this extremely formidable degree of lawlessness. And thus, we will continue this discussion in the upcoming podcast as I disclose the second half of the full impact of unrighteousness in your heart. Trust me, this is one you will not want to miss. Yahuwah bless you until then. Now, here is the final word. Those who become spiritually strong are those who resist what they know is wrong. Brothers and sisters, hear me carefully as I say, every degree of lawlessness is designed to make you spiritually weak. And this is especially the case for all the degrees of debility. Notwithstanding, there are certain degrees of lawlessness that are more instrumental than others in dealing death blows to our bodies while doing great damage to our spiritual health. And it should come as no surprise that the spirit of unrighteousness is one of these degrees for all the reasons we have discussed in this podcast, and for those we will cover in the next. Heretofore, I recommend that you arm yourself with every ounce of righteousness you can muster and never do something you know is wrong. For the one doing wrong does great harm to themselves, and they will not last long. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today. And as always, ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. For the children of Elohim live by conviction. And if he has not convicted you, or if you had not heard him concerning these matters, you should pray until you do. Today, I want you to meditate on the word I have shared. Specifically, I want you to consider how you are the author and creator of every evil intention that is generated within your heart. And don't start to say, the devil made me do it. Trust me, the devil can't make you do anything, for the power of choice has been consigned to all men. And yet, our power, like our original dominion in the earth, can be consigned to another. My dear friends, you can give your power away, and thus the one you have consigned your power to can and will influence you to act against your best interest. And yet, the fault is still yours. The blame belongs to you, for you are the one who gave your power away, a most foolish thing that one could do. And so, the message of the hour is keep your power. Don't let the enemy take what is rightfully yours. Trust me, you will need to unlock every power faculty of the Ruach to resist him, and you will, for we will work together to ensure you are successful in every spiritual war. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 415, How Contempt Plagues the Heart, Part 5. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 416, How Contempt Plagues the Heart, Part 6. I will post this podcast on Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim, continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.